Hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for this great edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. My name is Brian Westley Johnson, and whether you're at home, driving, or even at work, we're always glad you're here with us. As I said before, we have an amazing show for you. And once again, I am joined by an equally amazing co-host, Teresa Greco, happiness life coach, and the host of the Steps to Happiness show, airing Thursdays at 12 noon right here on Soulivity TV. Hey, Teresa, how are you?
Good morning. It's so great to be back.
I know. We were just talking about your fabulous trip and vacation, family vacation, to where it was beautifully warm. If I saw you live, I'm sure you have a beautiful tan going on.
I do. I caught too much sun on one day. It was just so nice. It was so nice.
Oh,
and I just
man.
didn't want to get out of the pool to go reapply my sunscreen. And so I caught a little bit too much on the one day. And then that it gave me a beautiful tan. It's true. But
Oof.
I didn't need to catch it all on one day.
Wow. Now you guys were down in Mexico. In Cancun?
Yes.
You guys were in Cancun?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good time in Cancun. Always a good time in Cancun. Oh, man. Well, welcome back. We've missed you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I missed you too.
Well, you are just in time because today is our Motivational Monday show, where we bring our listeners news and information from around the world that will help get them inspired and motivated to start the work week. And, Teresa, I think you're going to love this first story. Because, you're like me, we love great love stories. And that this one kind of reminds us that love is found everywhere and in so many special ways. Specifically, this Minnesota couple met using a dating app, and they found out that they had more in common than just food and personal interest. Let's learn a little bit more about this amazing event from CBS News.
Millions of people turn to dating apps to look for love, but what this Minnesota couple found was more like an against all odds match.
We both had the dating app Hinge, then we matched and we started talking right away.
Elizabeth started asking the typical get to know you questions, but the answers Joshua gave her were surprising.
Because she asked where I'd grown up, and I said, I grew up in Andover and went to Northside Christian School. And she's like, no kidding, I went there too in kindergarten. And then, we put it together, we graduated the same year, so we're like, maybe we're in the same kindergarten class.
Elizabeth found their class photo, and sure enough, Joshua was there with her. But that's not where their similarities ended. Elizabeth was born on September 13th, 1988. So was Joshua. Elizabeth was born at Mercy Hospital. So was Joshua. The pair were born at the same place on the same day, just 6 hours apart. The coincidences seemed too good to be true. But then
I remember calling my parents and telling them all about it. And I'm like, you're not going to believe this. And then I was asking my mom to pull out old home videos. And we did actually find our kindergarten graduation video. So we're both in there.
And the crazy part is her mom zoomed in on me.
Yeah.
In the video, and then panned out and then zoomed back on Elizabeth. So it was like, we saw that, we're like, no way.
the couple believes they were brought together divinely.
We believe it was God, and just all of our similarities, just how we're aligned with everything, in spite of the fact we could have had all these similarities, but been complete polar opposites, and that's not the case at all. So I feel like it was just a perfect match, and yeah, I think it was divine for sure.
Just 5 months after they matched, Elizabeth and Joshua decided to tie the knot on September 13th, their 35th birthday.
our kindergarten teacher, we actually were able to hunt her down, and we mailed her an invite, and she showed up. And not only did she show up, she found a photo of us on track and field day together.
They don't even remember each other from kindergarten. And against the dating app odds, they were brought together again.
This whole divine intervention, as we call it, has just really reaffirmed to me and to continue to try to spread our story of hope and second chances. You know, we both had been divorced and had been in a, dark period when we met. And that's usually when, we've seen God really work in our lives, is when you are down and you're in that vulnerable state, and, and then something happens and your course of your life has changed forever. So I'm just really grateful to him for bringing Joshua back into my life, and it's really fun to try to share that little bit of light to others.
How about them apples?
Love it. I love it. Brian, I love when you find stories that are so in alignment with how we see ourselves as spiritual beings having a human experience, right? That we're all divinely connected, all of us.
Yeah.
I believe that there is this invisible spider web that is just connecting us to everyone and everything.
Yeah.
And this is like one of those stories that exemplifies that belief.
Absolutely. There is no coincidence that the mother actually zoomed in on him during the time at which her daughter and this young man were at the same school. I mean, again, that's not a coincidence, right? She could have zoomed in on any one of those kids that were there. I also love the fact that they were able to find their kindergarten teacher, and that she would and have her at their wedding. I mean, it's just so cool. And so they have all these connections. Also, this is love for them the second time around, because both of them were married and divorced. I think she has a son, and so he became a father to her son, and because he was in the wedding, I think he was a ring bearer or something like that. But just so beautiful. It was just beautiful all the way around, way around. I knew you were going to love that story.
From
I know
birth,
you get
it
all
was beautiful right from birth.
Yes. I wonder what sign they are, because it had to be they're the same sign. So
I can't remember what day it was that they were born on. That's just from the
interesting
beginning.
to see.
They were connected.
Yeah, from the very, 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 very beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
So yeah, love is in the air. And so, I knew you would like that story. So everyone out there, don't forget, hey, listen, that, you can find love everywhere. And so don't give up, that person is there. Keep doing the work that you need to do, to, expand your awareness and those kind of things. And then you will find the love of your life. So anyway, listen, we've got more of these Motivational Monday stories coming up. Just want to remind people that in February, here in America, February celebrates the history of African Americans and their legacy, which is part of the fabric of our nation. Each day we air Soulivity Today, we will be airing moments of Black history to commemorate these great American heroes. Now enjoy this clip, and we'll be back with more of Soulivity Today in just a few moments.
I did not learn about the Tuskegee Airmen until I came to the Air Force Academy.
It's part of our history academically, but it's also part of our heritage as members of the Air Force.
I just learned about their trials, their tribulations, their drive, their motivation to help desegregate the Air Force, to do the missions that they did in World War II, just their phenomenal record with the Red Tails.
Their combat record in World War II was absolutely incredible. And as a person who aspired to being a pilot, and a black pilot at that, they were natural heroes for me. They put their lives on the line for a country, really, that didn't view them as worthy, but they did it anyway.
To be able to go through that and come out on the winning side and really set that trail for us to follow. And if they hadn't have done that, there would have been no path for me to follow.
Our armed forces were desegregated largely as a result of what they did in combat in World War II, proving that black people could serve just as bravely and gallantly and credibly as anybody else.
I think it's taken so long, almost 60 years, for me to become the first black female fighter pilot for multiple reasons. That was something that I definitely struggled with, was not knowing that I could be mentored by anybody. I looked for somebody like me, and when you're a pioneer, there's nobody ahead of you. There's a barrier in just knowledge of things that we can go out and do. I think sometimes that people don't know that they're capable of greatness.
Now I'm sitting here right now largely because of what they did. I was commander of a bomber unit in the Air Force, and one time I was at a Tuskegee Airmen convention, and our former chief of staff brought me up to the front of the stage, and he looked at those Tuskegee Airmen in the audience and he said, "Could you ever have imagined when you were fighting in World War II and escorting those bombers, that one day the command of those bombers would be led by a black man?" Original Tuskegee Airmen actually started clapping. I think the reason that they were clapping was because they knew that they had set the foundation for me to have the stars that I have and to have the position that I have.
I mean, I was just shocked that it was 2000 when I graduated, that there were still glass ceilings to break.
But I also want to set that example for the others who look at me, others who might say, "I've never seen a black pilot before."
We have to celebrate it every opportunity that we get, and not let things that the Tuskegee Airmen have done for this country and for our society and for Black America go to waste.
Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoyed the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. There's more here on Soulivity today because it's a Motivational Monday show where we are bringing you news and information from around the world that will help get you inspired and motivated to start your week. And of course, back with me is happiness life coach, Teresa Greco. Hey, Teresa. Question for you. Do you have a favorite Beatles song or no?
No.
Do you like them all?
They
You
were
like them all?
before me. They were before
Oh,
me. So I
I,
don't have a favorite. Like, to me,
uh,
they're all the same.
well, I guess
They're
that's
all
just the
good.
musician in me. My dad had like music in our house all the time. And so, I mean, he would play some Beatles. I think my favorite is The Long and Winding Road. It's just, I mean, all of it's timeless, but that song specifically is like timeless for me.
Hmm.
Well, this next story, it of course is about the Beatles, and that there's this, Paul McCartney had this bass that he played on many of the songs, on many of the hit songs. I mean, like their first hit, he's playing this bass. It's a Hofner bass. Well, he lost it 50 years ago. And in 2018, there began a campaign to find it. And after all those years, it was located and returned after a various curious journey. So let's learn more about this from NBC News.
It's the iconic instrument that helped start a music revolution, launching the Beatles from basement performances to superstardom.
When we started off, we all had guitars. I actually ended up sort of getting lumbered with bass because our bass player left.
But the guitar Paul McCartney first played with the Beatles, a 1961 Hofner violin bass, went missing after the recording of Let It Be. The mystery of Sir Paul's favorite instrument now being pieced together for the first time.
I think it's a bit like a jigsaw, really.
All thanks to investigative journalists Scott and Naomi Jones. Late last year, they teamed up with Nick Wass from Hofner Instruments, launching thelostbass.com. Their dogged research finding it was stolen in 1972 before changing hands.
That bass, the most important bass in the history of rock and roll, the most important bass in the history of music, actually changed hands in a London pub for a couple of quid and some free beer.
Turns out the guitar stayed in that same family and just 10 miles or so from the music megastar all this time. As news of the search grew louder, they turned it in. This intrepid team found out in a phone call from McCartney himself.
What was that moment like?
This guy comes on the phone saying, hey, Nick, we've got the bass. We found it. It's been handed in. We've got the bass. And I'm thinking, who's this idiot? But you know who it was. It was Paul. And he phoned me up to tell me they actually got the bass.
McCartney grateful for all the sleuthing and that the bass was back in his hands.
I always had faith that I would find it. But sometimes I also thought, wow, you know, this thing's been gone so long and nobody's ever seen it. And I did often wonder if I was crazy, you know, for looking for it.
The mystery over, the guitar back to where it always belonged. Savannah Sellers, NBC News.
Wow. I cannot believe that bass, it's iconic. It was already iconic when it got basically stolen, right? But the fact that it was sold for a couple of quid.
What is that? What's the quid?
It's like a couple of bucks, right? You know, a couple of, you know, it's like it's you know, and so it's like, I'm like, really? I mean, you know, and it said a couple of quid in a pint of beer or something like that. Just I guess you had to be like drunker than crap to be able to do that. But anyway, I mean, the fact that it was returned after all these years, I mean, after 50 years, can you imagine Paul McCartney's face when he saw that bass again?
Yeah.
I mean, just, you know, I think about just the things that we have that are very precious to us. That, you know, what if we lost them and then years later they get returned? Right. And you're like, basically it's out of your mind. You're not even thinking about it anymore. Or if you do, it's like, Have you ever had that happen? Maybe not 50 years, but have you ever lost something like that was like really special to you? And somebody found it, maybe let's say maybe it's a couple of days later.
No, nothing of like that extreme importance, like a family
Mm.
heirloom or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing like that for me. What about you?
The closest thing that I can think of, and it was only like not even a full day. I had gotten, I love technology, and it was the first Galaxy tab. Remember those tabs where you could like
Yeah.
things? And so I was going overseas. I was visiting a friend, and in the airport I lost it.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, this thing's gone forever. I lost it in the Stuttgart, Germany airport. So I traveled with me all the way there. And when I got to the airport, I lost it. And my friend picks me up. I'm not even thinking about it until I get to the house. And I'm like, oh my God, where's my Galaxy Tab? And he says, oh no, let's just go back to the airport. And I'm like, really? That thing is long gone. I'm thinking this thing is long gone, And he said, no, people are really, really cool here about that. And I'm like, really? So we go back to the airport, and this is like, it's gotta be maybe 8 or 9 hours later. And so we go to security, they look in their lost and found, and out comes the Galaxy Tab. And I'm like, and then he says, well, you got to prove that it's yours. Right. And I say, I'll unlock it. So I opened it and unlocked it, and I showed him. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And all the way home, we're like, man, never doubt the kindness of strangers sometimes. Right. I mean, this thing with Paul McCartney started in 2018, and they found it out of the kindness of strangers. Like, maybe they didn't even know that Paul McCartney had lost that bass. Right. And so they found it through, crowd searching and that kind of thing, and probably brought Paul McCartney a whole lot of joy, because I mean, like he said, he had to learn to play the bass. He played guitar, so he learned to play the bass for the Beatles, and that was that instrument, which is a rare instrument too. So anyway, yeah, pretty cool stuff, right? Pretty cool stuff. Again, just lessons for us that, be careful around how you perceive others and that kind of thing, and humanity, because sometimes people will surprise you, like in this case.
Yeah.
So that was the crux of why I wanted to choose this story, which is so cool.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah. Thank you. Listen, just want to remind everybody, we've got more Motivational Monday coming up in just a second. Just want to remind you that coming up this Wednesday is another Joy Keepers Cafe. It's absolutely free. There's a great meditation, and then a great fellowship afterwards. It's absolutely positively free. So you want to come and check this out. I mean, you want to go to joykeepers.org/cafe. You can reserve a seat. Again, that's Wednesday, February 28th at 8 o'clock Pacific time for those of you guys out on the West Coast, 11 a.m. in New York or Eastern time, 4 p.m. in London, and 1700 hours in Copenhagen. So listen, again, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of Soulivity Today in just a minute. all of the Satana products at our Go shop at go.soulivity.com.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame. Living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today. It's another Motivational Monday show where we're bringing you some news and some great information from around the world that will help get you inspired and motivated to start your work week. Back with me is Teresa, Greco, happiness life coach, and just a great all-around person.
Yay.
Yeah. All right, Teresa, I'm warning you in advance here. You might want to get some tissues because this next story is really, really, really cool. I think you're like me when it comes to good music, right? Where listening to it, dancing to it just kind of lights up the soul, right? I can totally see you guys dancing in Cabo and in Cancun with the music and all that kind of stuff. In the pool. Yeah, that's even better, right?
Yeah.
Well, this next story you're going to love because it's about some fantastic barbershop singers that came together to support those in need of support, but in a harmonious way. Here's more from News Channel 5.
You know, there's one music act in town that selects their gigs based on where they can do the most good.
They faced an obstacle in recent years, but today they are back in action. News Channel 5's Forrest Sanders shares their story.
And my favorite place to visit was Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's.
Is it all that like people make it sound?
Yeah.
There are some jobs that just require people with a calling.
Right, Jesse?
At this class held at the Brentwood Family YMCA, Tracy Jernigan has one of those jobs.
The best thing, it fills my cup every day. Full Circle is a program designed specifically for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
It teaches self-sufficiency and activities for people who have aged out of school. It's also a place you might find a little music. And today, Full Circle has some visitors.
Are we ready? Let's march. Hello, everybody.
Presenting the Nashville Music Medics.
Oh, Nelia, Nelia, bless your heart.
Are you guys doctors?
No, not a single one of us is a doctor. We've got plenty of former military guys, insurance salesmen, civil engineers.
Wayne Jackson tells us this is one of 35 music medics groups across the country, all coming from the Barbershop Harmony Society. They sing to children's hospitals, to people in hospice care.
The most meaningful singing that I have done in my singing career.
In today's case, the music medics are singing at the YMCA for Full Circle.
That was so beautiful.
And the active older adults group.
Rose, Rose, bless your heart.
The music medics have been on a journey these last few years. In 2020, the pandemic meant they couldn't go into places like hospitals.
So it was approximately 2.5 years.
But that didn't mean the work was over. They recorded videos for the patients, and today, it feels good to be back performing in person to audiences.
You got a friend in me, You got a friend in me, and when the road...
After all, people around here understand a calling.
Everybody needs some sunshine in their life.
To be able to be blessed by bringing a minute of comfort, a minute of peace, a minute of joy, we're able to connect through music.
I'm Forrest Sanders, News Channel 5.
Hey, friend.
Yay.
Those smiles, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Magic of music.
Yes, yes.
By the way, we want to mention this, that Full Circle program, no cost to its participants.
It is paid for by donations to the Brentwood YMCA.
You got a friend in me.
All the nice classics, right, Brian? With the nice lyric.
I told you needed to get, I told you it's kind of get you a little choked up. I love the fact that they didn't stop over COVID. That just, that they recorded songs. What were you thinking when you were watching that story?
That if you look at the age group, right, that the volunteers and singers are, it's a nice time in your life to be able to give yourself something fun and uplifting to do too, right? So you have that social connection piece, which is so huge to our happiness. So they have that with each other, but then they go around and bring that social connection to other people too. So I thought it was great. Loved it.
Yeah, I love the smiling faces, and you could tell as soon as they walked in and started singing that all the residents at this facility just lit up, right, with smiles, and they were singing along, and they were happy and that kind of thing. And I think beyond just the effects of the music just for music's sake, I think everybody wants and needs to feel that they matter, right, and that they're cared for, and that they're part of a community. And so the fact that these men have dedicated, some of their time to this is really admirable. Makes me happy. Again, this is about us getting motivated, right, to make a difference in the world, and this is part of creating a best life, right? Service is part of that. And so just so happy they did this. So yeah, I knew you were going to love that one too.
Yeah, love it.
Listen, everyone, we're going to take another break, but we'll be back with more of Soulivity Today in just a minute, with our last our last Motivational Monday story of the day. So we'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Would you like to be one of the first people to experience mental freedom? Mental freedom is a coaching practice with 6 core principles: improving hope, self-efficacy, optimism, resilience, and general well-being. Mental freedom only takes 6 sessions. It is designed to give you the tools you need to help yourself. It can help with any situation: relationship problems, past trauma, career decisions, parenting challenges, addiction, and mental health concerns. Incorporating the mental freedom framework into your life will deliver an approach to master any situation and a pathway toward achieving inner peace. Mental freedom provides the information and tools that you need to grow and be bigger than anything that ever happens to you. So if you're looking for one-on-one or a group coaching program that will allow you to address any situation that comes up in your life with practical tools to give you more peace and joy, then join the Mental Freedom Program in Soulivity's Aspire Academy. There are very limited spots available, so don't delay. I hope to see you there.
Hey there, we're back with more here on Soulivity Today for another Motivational Monday show. Back with me is Teresa Greco. We're just having a good old time talking about some great stories from around the world that are helping you get inspired and motivated to start your work week, which is what it's all about. Just want to remind people, we just had a commercial about Teresa, this fantastic program with you and Mental Freedom. Just, go check it out, everybody. It's at soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom, one word, for a fantastic program that'll help you move your life forward. And Teresa, you can give more information about that a little bit later, but I just wanted to make sure that people knew about that. This last story, Teresa, again, I think you're going to love. It's a women's empowerment story as well. And I think it kind of personifies the old adage, when life brings you lemons, make lemonade. And so, yeah, I don't want to give it away too much. But I think when, that song, what was the name of the song that was it Hear Me Roar or something like that? I think you're going to be singing that song after the end of this one. So let's learn about what this one woman did after she had a painful situation regarding her wedding. Here's more about this from NBC Bay Area.
Tonight, in our Bay Area Proud series, we're going to do something we've never done before. The person who is being praised for their good deed wishes to remain anonymous. Exactly why they desired that, you'll figure out. Still, what she did deserves to be shared. This is the story of a wedding that wasn't, and the generous gift a South Bay bride didn't get on what was to be her big day, but one she gave. It all begins just days before the ceremony was supposed to take place this past Saturday, when the bride discovered information about her fiancé that compelled her to call off the wedding. So, no nuptials. Why then, when Saturday night rolled along, was the ballroom at Gilroy's Eagle Ridge Golf Club in full party mode? Well, because the bride wanted something good to come from her misfortune.
I think this donation is extraordinary.
Maria Dane is the executive director of Parents Helping Parents, a San Jose-based nonprofit that supports families of children with disabilities. They had once helped the bride's family, which is why Maria got a call.
I've never heard of anyone ever calling a nonprofit and saying, we want to donate a $15,000 party in 2 weeks to you. Like, this just doesn't happen. I don't expect in my career to ever see this again. And just thrilled that we will be able to have an event for families.
So the wedding reception turned into a party for families of children with special needs and those who help them. The venue, the food, the DJ, the photo booth, even the fireworks given to the group for free. Liz Schwartz says it is a rare and special treat for her daughter Paige and others like her.
So it's wonderful to be included and to have this a celebration of who our community is.
And so from something bad, something good. And in the end, a night that was supposed to make memories that would last a lifetime did exactly that.
Oh, that looks like a blast.
They had a wonderful time. I got to confess, they were when I left, they were still dancing.
Oh my God.
Whew, that one got me. That one got me.
What a great idea.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, the whole when it gets me when he said that the event that was supposed to create memories for a lifetime did exactly that.
I know. I loved that line too. I know. It was the perfect line. Honestly.
Right?
But at that point, Brian, in your wedding, you have paid so many down payments on stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So even just days before, you have things that are all paid off. So it
Right.
was just such a brilliant idea of hers to be able to give it to that organization and to those
Yeah.
individuals. Yeah, it was
Right.
brilliant.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. $15,000 wedding reception, that became a party for these beautiful, beautiful families and workers, right? Because it was for all of them to enjoy and celebrate, everything that they do and everything they are. So fabulous, fabulous, fabulous idea. I'm thinking about the kindness of strangers, and how all this stuff can kind of come together. And I think sometimes when we think about humanity, we think about the worst of humanity, right? Our news and media, and they talk about the bad stuff so much that we forget about like these things that are happening, and these are not the rarity, right, Teresa? This isn't the rarity. People are doing stuff like this all the time.
I know, we just don't hear about them. That's the
We
problem.
just don't hear. Yeah, we just don't hear about it. I do have to admit that if the story had a little bit more to dish on why the wedding didn't happen, I would love that part. But that's the gossip. That's the gossip guy in me sometimes. Like, I wonder what happened. I can only imagine what it was. Dudes being dudes.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole nother topic and discussion. Yeah. So anywho, listen, I love these stories today. What was your favorite? What's your favorite?
I think the last one.
The last one.
Yeah, because I love when, a lot of them all had smiling faces in it, right? How the good act just making people smile and laugh. But I feel like the last one really exemplified that. It was for me, you could really see the joy in people's faces in that last one, just with the dancing. It just took it up. The music one, the singing one, people were smiling. It was nice. But this was now it added that extra element. It wasn't only smiling, but now it was dancing too.
Right.
An extra piece.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah. I think the last one was my favorite, but a close second was the music medics one, which I'm a musician, so I had to pick that one. Listen, we're gonna take another quick break, everyone, but we have more Soulivity Today coming up, so stay right where you are, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Do you see me kneeling on this dual roller called Parasetter? It's actually comfortable because of this channel and the softness of the special foam. It feels like my kneecaps are being massaged. When I lie down, my spine is housed in this channel, while the convex rollers massage my muscles. They let go and lengthen. There's a traction effect from my head on the headrest and my mid-back from the rib wrap, which hugs me. When I start the breathing sequence, I feel calm because my cortisol levels are dropping. Lower cortisol means bye-bye constant hunger. Parasetter is 40 inches long and much more comfortable than old-style rollers, but it weighs only 10 ounces. Parasetter, just like Pilates was, is no longer an insider secret. Do yourself a favor. Reset your parasympathetic nervous system. Defeat stress. Lying, sitting, kneeling, or standing. This unique patented roller helps everyone.
Six years ago when I started Soulivity, My vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today. Let's get to some shameless plugs. Teresa, we were just talking about this fantastic program that you're offering via our Aspire Academy called Mental Freedom. And, I can't get enough of telling people about this because you're like really supporting people in gaining some skills and tools that they can use in across a myriad of different aspects of their life that will help them create that best life today. What you talk about as like the steps to happiness, and I'll put in joy as well. Can you tell people a little bit more about this specific program?
Yes, thank you. So I see happiness as a two-sided coin. One side may be that if you're not feeling happy, there could be blocks that are preventing you from feeling that happiness. And the other side of the coin is how much time are you spending connecting with your happiness? So on both sides of the coin, there are tools. On the one side, there are tools that help you to remove those blocks that are preventing you from feeling the happiness that's always within you to feel. And the other side is where you also need tools. That's where your happiness toolkit comes in, that helps you to connect to the happiness that you are and knowing what that is. And so mental freedom deals with those blocks. So in just 6 weeks, it gives you the practical tools you need in order to deal with anything that comes your way. So it helps you to be bigger than anything that ever happens to you in just 6 weeks. And we're not taught these tools. So that's why this program, which wasn't created by me, it was one I adopted by the founder. But I felt that it really resonated with my view on happiness, giving people the tools. My show is all about that, giving people the steps and the tools they need to live their happiest life. And this program does that so succinctly in just 6 weeks.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. Again, it's one of those things that builds, gives you the tools to be aware of your life, what your experiences are, and how to cope and be resilient. I mean, all these different things. So thanks for doing this. Everyone, you can find out more about this fabulous program, 6 weeks to mental freedom, by visiting our website at Soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom, all one word. That's Soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom, all one word. And Teresa, thank you for being here.
Thank you
for being here with us. Thank you for doing what you do and bringing some smiling energy and some joy and some much needed sun and warmth with you back from Cancun.
Thank you, Brian. Feels good to be back. Thank you.
Next time, you just take us all with you.
Yeah,
we'll all
great.
go down there with you.
Yeah, party there. I would love it.
Oh man, listen, just want to remind everybody that there's even more inspiration at our Soulivity site. You can go to Soulivity.com, where you can receive even more inspiration for your passion and purpose. You can watch our Soulivity TV channel, which is streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including Steps to Happiness and other Soulivity TV channels. Soulivity TV shows are on there. Also, there's this fantastic new article that we just put out earlier in this week about 5 must-see natural wonders around the world. I mean, these are things I think, Teresa, that I'm going to add to my quote-unquote bucket list to find out more about and to enjoy. So check that out. Also, want to remind everybody to go to all your your social media channels, because we are there. You can subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, X or Twitter, Threads, and specifically our YouTube channel. Because on our YouTube channel, you can watch and listen to all of our Soulivity TV shows, including this one on Soulivity Today. And you can visit us on your favorite podcast provider and download the Soulivity TV shows and take us with you wherever you go. So, Teresa, thanks again for being here. I can't wait to see you again next week for more Motivational Monday stories.
Thank you. Can't wait to be here.
And we want to thank all of you for being here as well. Remember to go to our YouTube channel. Just want to remind everybody that, because again, whenever we go live, you're going to get an alert on that. And if you subscribe there, you're also able to watch this show and our other shows at any time that you want. So just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting us and being there for us as we move forward with more of Soulivity's endeavors. This is how we do it Monday through Friday, people, right here on Soulivity.com on our show, Soulivity Today, where we stream at 8 a.m. Eastern for our live broadcast, or you can listen or even watch us on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California at 8 a.m. Pacific time. For all of those folks out on the West Coast, including my family, hey fam, that's out there. Remember to share out anything that you see. We appreciate that as well to your followers on social media. So if you see something inspirational, enjoy it, but then pass it along, because that's important. We all need some motivation and inspiration in our lives. So listen, got to get out of here. Just want to say, keep on pursuing your passion and purpose. And soon, very soon, you're going to create that best life today of high quality living. So for all of us here at Soulivity, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted